Hey everybody, welcome back to Wiki Good Sports. This is At the Buzzer, and we're joined as always by Jack Kiernan. Jack, how are you?
Brian doing well, thanks.
And Ryan Flynn. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing well, bro.
Awesome. I'm very glad to hear that. So last time we talked, Celtics were on a hot streak, and then they immediately lost two games in a row. And I was like, well, that, not great considering what our video was about. But they have recovered, won three games in a row after the two-game skid. Jack, how are we feeling about the Celtics since the last time we talked?
Yeah, I mean, we can't be as high as last time, right? Because they were on a win streak. That 82-0 is still in play, of course. Very, very important and very likely to happen.
Very realistic.
Until
Yeah.
until those two games happened, unfortunately. So 80-2 is still in play. We're hoping for that. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, it was a loss to I would say a really undervalued Timberwolves team right now. Maybe coming closer towards their value as we speak. And by that, I mean Ant Edwards is the value there. I don't really know. I think at one point
Becoming
it
a
was like,
huge star in real
yeah,
time, on Twitter
for
at
sure.
least, for
He is the
bitching
next
out
Michael
Draymond.
Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least on Twitter. But I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, I think watching him play was super sweet. I think you can kind of see what he's about now, and he's continued to put up solid performances like that. So really hard to disrespect him. He's got that kind of fire. He made a comment about Draymond, who was like, "Nobody's fucking worried about you, Draymond." Essentially, is what he said to Draymond, which was awesome because nobody likes Draymond. And I think that was a that loss was, I don't know. We didn't have D White. It wasn't great overall. Like, I feel like our offense was stymied by, of course, a really solid defensive team. You've got Rudy Gobert. No matter how much he might be a shell of what he was in Utah, maybe he still is above average defender. Like, if nothing else, a really good rim protector. I thought that maybe having KP would pull him out towards the perimeter a little bit more, but that didn't happen. So they were smart and they played zone, and that worked effectively. But Sixers also on what I would say is an unprecedented run after trimming the fat, no pun intended, of James Harden. So they're playing really well right now. Tyrese Maxey just dropped a career high 50 points. Joel Embiid obviously is Joel Embiid. But I still like the Celtics are able to take care of business against these other teams, the Brooklyn Nets, of course.
Mhm.
Toronto Raptors, who I would expect us to take care of business against, and then the Knicks,
Right.
who have given us problems in the past. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's safe to say I'm feeling pretty solid in general. I still feel good about our standing in the Eastern Conference. I think we'll take over that one seed again pretty soon. And I feel even more confident knowing that the Bucks are struggling. So, it's fun to watch
Right.
from that perspective too.
Yeah. Ryan, how are you feeling?
About the Celtics, I'm feeling really well after last night, honestly. I always feel pretty uneasy against the Knicks. I just feel like we don't play that well against them.
Same.
And most of that game, I thought it was going to be close. And, it kind of felt like one of those games where in the first half, like Tatum was kind of going to be in the background, last year and the year before, it really felt like he could disappear at times. And he just like really lit up the stage. And, it seems like we're in store for a really good Tatum season, which, is everything. And, I just feel like this team can like weather just about any storm at this point. Even the Timberwolves loss, to be honest, we didn't play perfectly, but I think we ended the game as well as we could from what I can recall. I mean, Jalen McDaniels is really underrated as a defender. He did a really good job on Tatum, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you just said the same with Anthony Edwards. I mean, was that true about, I don't have Twitter, so were they really saying like Michael Jordan? Because do you guys remember?
Yeah.
So for some reason, I think it's a really ridiculous comparison because it's like, who do you compare to Michael Jordan? But for some reason, when I watch him play, it's the only person I can think of because he is, I don't know, he's just pretty unique as this like 6'6" guard, like with 6'6",
ultra athletic,
like, big guard, smaller wing, like not smaller wing, but you know what I mean. Hyper athletic, and just the way he can get to the rim is pretty dynamic. Two-way player as well, or has major two-way upside.
Yeah.
I mean, and he just. So, I really had no qualms with that loss. The Sixers, that's one of the few games that in the Raptors I missed, except for the end of the fourth quarter. And I do think we pulled it together at the end of the first. As bad as it was, we did make a pretty good run at the end. which I didn't think we were going to be able to do. And then honestly, we had a chance to win it. Porzingis that was a straight miss. Like he airballed it. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
this season, the NBA is doing a new thing, the in-season tournament. It is confusing to track how it's all happening, but we're in the group stage right now. We had the first match for the Boston Celtics in NBA in-season tournament history. Maybe we'll look back at this as like a monumental thing. Maybe it'll be something that flames out in a few years. Will be interesting to see. But Ryan, you were at the very first in-season tournament game for the Celtics. Can you kind of like give us, a report on what like the atmosphere was like, what that new court was like in person?
Looks sweet.
Yeah, it looked cool. And what was it like to be there for, like I said, maybe a historic event?
Yeah, so the NBA is really going all in for the in-season tournament, certainly. The fans, I'm not necessarily sure how invested the fans are in the in-season tournament yet, like on a general scale. But walking in, I mean, I'd imagine any Celtics game this year. I mean, the atmosphere is great. Everyone got a free T-shirt, in-season T-shirt at their seat, no matter where you sat. That was pretty cool. I definitely noticed actually a lot of like younger kids seemed kind of into the in-season thing in the general area. That might just be just to have fun with it, But it was a cool atmosphere. The court definitely was unique. I know a lot of the other ones have gotten slammed. I thought theirs looked pretty cool. No complaints. And I mean, it was a pretty bad beatdown. So that's always fun to watch. Also, I was disappointed. I did want to see. I know it sounds ridiculous. I did want to see Ben Simmons play against the
Yeah. Yeah.
How many times do you think that's been said aloud?
In the last few years?
Yeah.
Well, outside of the Celtics playoff series, when he didn't play, probably not much.
Yeah, I said on the way home, I took the train home and I talked to a Philly fan, and he was like, he saw my jersey and he was like, Simmons play? And I was like, what do you think? And he was just like,
yeah. Hey, we're a pro Ben Simmons podcast. I feel like
we definitely did not used to be. We've turned the
but we had some self-reflection, and we're trying to be more positive on this show, and we don't want to kick someone when they're down.
Ice up that hip, King. You got this.
Get out there. Freeze those nerves, man. Get back on the court.
Oh man, poor Ben. Anyways. So looking forward, I guess, anything you guys think about this 76ers Celtics matchup tonight at the time when this comes out? Obviously, we're recording the night before, but Ryan, how are you feeling about that matchup?
I think I'm going to miss the first half, unfortunately. So a little bummed about that, but I think we should be able to win. Honestly, it's not right because it's like this early. Like we will always be like it's a must win. I mean, there's so much you can overcome, and like look how bad we were a couple of years ago at the beginning of the season. I feel I'm pretty certain they can win this. There's no reason they shouldn't. I think it's going to be a big statement if they can win this. I think that'll make them 8-2. It'll really get the momentum going. I feel like, it felt good to demolish the Knicks like that last night, at least for me.
Right.
And I feel like, if we beat one of the two teams that has beat us so far, that's going to feel really good as well. And there's no reason not to. I do think like the 76ers do look really good with Tyrese Maxey, who I've thought for a long time is pretty legitimate, but I still think talent wise, if we're playing well, we just outmatched them currently, I feel.
Yeah, Jack, you feeling pretty similar?
Yeah, pretty similar. It would be nice. We are 8-2 right now, actually. So if we win against them, we go to
okay.
Yeah, no, even better, right? So we're 8-2. We'll take that. We take one more win away from the Sixers. I think that puts us in a tie for first place technically, or I think based on win percentage, I think we might have them there. We'll be 9-2. They'll be 8-2. So I think technically, I don't know. Anyway, it'll be close. We'll be towards the top of the division. That's what matters. And I think that'll be a nice, like you said, Ryan. I think it'll be a statement piece, right? Because they're proving to be still a good team without James Harden. Which again, hence the trim the fat reference from earlier, right? Like it truly are trimming like this guy who is the quote unquote the system, right? And that I think is nice for any team, to be honest with you. You can't have an ego like that anywhere, and
And
we're seeing what that looks like with the Clippers right now.
Yeah.
they have a really good coach as well who knows how to.
They do.
Who really knows? I think that was kind of again like Harden's Harden, but you want to run an offense through Embiid. And then also, I think there's a lot like someone like Nick Nurse can do with an offensive, the offensive firepower that Tyrese Maxey has as well.
Yeah.
So that's
I can't stand Nick Nurse. I cannot stand Nick Nurse, but I know he's like a decent coach, so it sucks for me to admit that he's like, oh God, he's just. I'll never forget in the bubble when he was just standing on the court and somebody threw an errant pass to him. I'll never forget it, and ever since I've been like, this guy sucks. Like I hate him. But either
Well,
way,
I'm sure him being the coach of one of our chief rivals will only make you like him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that hatred won't grow.
Even Doc's reputation for me took a ding. Yeah, and that's saying something. I love him. Was big Doc Rivers fan before, no matter how he sounds on a mic. But
I think, yeah, his 76ers tour was kind of the nail in the coffin of his reputation.
Yeah.
Period, unfortunately. I saw someone refer to him, or they're like, well, the 76ers actually have a coach instead of the substitute teacher of Doc Rivers. Oof. Which, brutal.
It got a little excessive where it was like, all right, we get like some of this stuff, but like it was really just like they're just like you see it on TV and stuff. They just throw in random stuff about like,
oh God,
yeah. It's nice to have a coach who actually calls plays. Like,
yeah. Doc needs to get on one of these like shows. Go on NBA on TNT and like, be joking around and get the.
I was gonna say he's broadcasting and he does. I know his son does stuff with like the Ringer, and he's on like the Bill Simmons podcast here and there.
Okay, all right, so that's
he's pretty, and he's literally a broadcaster, and that's what he did before he was a coach.
Mm-hmm.
He also
just like
he's on calls. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. He's on calls with
No, just like it.
Definitely. He's on calls with Doris Burke, which I think is super funny because she's like a known Philly fan, and he, I assume, is not. Like based on his tumultuous tenure there. So I don't know. Yeah. I really need to spend some time and listen to one of their calls.
Oh, is she a Philly fan? Couldn't tell from that play.
Yeah, what gave that away? Yeah,
I was gonna say, is she actually? That's actually. Is she like an actual Philly fan? Or?
During the game, I think Game 7 against the Sixers in the conference semis last year.
Well, I know that. Yeah, she was going wild.
She was silent. Well, she was silent. She didn't talk for the last 7 minutes of the game. She literally did not say a single word. So I think it was. Yeah, I think maybe not officially, but officially.
She could just be a Celtics hater too.
That is honestly
that's
probably
fair
more likely.
Too.
Yeah,
understandable. And as for Harden, things not going good. I saw someone be like, "Man, if he snagged one of those Clippers Harden jerseys, the equivalent of the Shaq Celtics jersey." So,
Shaq Celtics jersey. What's another one? The Carmelo Anthony Hawks jersey that went around for
or the Vince Carter
no
Hawks
games.
Jersey.
Vince actually played a game for that org. That's the difference, I think.
Carmelo. AI Nuggets? Was it AI on the Nuggets?
AI Nuggets.
Yeah, but he was good on the Nuggets. He was also AI on the Hawks, right? But it feels like Atlanta's where everyone goes to die.
And then get bought out. Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't it the Nuggets though? Was that the team he was on?
He was good on the Nuggets.
No, he
was declining, I think, right?
No, I thought. Yeah, but I thought at the end he said he like stopped. He said my butt hurts. And they're like, from what? And he's like sitting on the bench too damn much.
maybe it was
That's
Memphis.
Very AI.
I think maybe it was Memphis. Yeah.
Oh, it was.
I remember when he left Philly for Denver. That was like a big deal, and they didn't win anything. But it's really gonna hit real hard when a player like Carmelo wins like 5 NBA in-season tournaments and 0 championships, and people are like trying to be like,
But his legacy.
what is his legacy? Yeah, I love the narrative potential that the in-season tournament gives.
Great point.
Jackasses like us to debate about.
I mean, it's kind of like I wouldn't say it's quite the intensity of a playoff game. I think a lot of the younger teams are going to take it like that. Like I would think San Antonio, you would assume like Popovich with all those guys. He's going to eat up that opportunity with those guys to treat it like guys. This is like a playoff game to get them prepared for like 5-6 years down the road.
Yeah.
Experience.
And the kind of mental integrity that takes. The Rockets, I think, are going to. Do the Rockets win their first game? Yeah, in the in-season tournament, I would imagine.
I think so. Yeah, Rockets look really good.
Yeah, we could talk about that as it is. Yeah.
as it gets like actually into the single elimination stage, then we can have more to talk about. Because I was very confused when people were like, the in-season tournament has started. I was like, the season has been a week long. What do you mean?
Like, what?
This is, and then it's like, no, there's group stages for like 2 months. It's like, okay, this is such a weird thing. But you know what? Michael Imperioli, he's on the commercials now. That's huge. He's really pitching it.
Yeah, hey, somebody has to.
Mm-hmm. Just started rewatching The Sopranos, so that was a big, pop for me when I saw him in the commercial. I was like, oh, like the Leo meme, But yeah, that's all I got. Sorry, guys. I feel like I'm derailing with tons of random, segues and tangents. But Jack, where can they find you online?
Best place to find me is on Twitter, and that's @Jack_Tiernan. Follow me there for bad James Harden takes. You could also follow my disc golf Instagram, and that's @JackDiscGolf. So follow me there.
Awesome, Ryan. What do you want to promote? I know you're not on Twitter, which, as we always say, very smart. But anything you want to plug or anything?
Got nothing as of now. No.
All right, that's fair too. You can follow me on Twitter @TheFakeBMarr, BMARR. Mostly tweet about Survivor these days. Little bit about the Dolphins, though. Right now, they're in a really good spot, and I don't want to be tweeting good things because I'm always ready for that shoe to drop. I'm always waiting for it to go horribly, horribly wrong, and I don't want to be one of those people that they were like, this you being all cocky and arrogant. That's a nightmare. So, we'll give it a little bit of time. But, yeah, you can follow the channel on Twitter @WickedSport, Instagram Wicked Sports, TikTok Wicked Sports, our main channel Wicked Good Everything. I have a new video up there, actually for like the first time in 6 months, about the Panera charged lemonade and how it killed somebody. And Panera is just fucking killing people with lemonade of all things. So interesting video. Go check that out. And of course, we have our podcasting channel, Better Radio. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
Yeah, thanks, Brad, as usual.
And we'll see you all in the next one.